Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, and we are going to do a Let's Play of Skyrim Part 3. We're going to continue where we left off from, which we had just arrived at High Hrothgar, getting ready to talk to these strange guys called the Greybeards. In this part, you are going to learn about shouts, and they basically explain to you what a shout is. Arngeir explains who you are, what these shouts are, and gives a lot of history about them, and teaches you some shouts and how to use them. You'll have to excuse my clumsiness here because it's been a while since I've played this and I wasn't 100% sure of the controls and exactly what I was doing to be able to do what he told me to do. So apparently I was able to knock him back a little bit, and he said, okay, you are the Dragonborn. I'm still a little bit unsure on what exactly that means, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to show me exactly what that means. So we ask a few basic questions, what is this place, who are you? And they give us an awful lot of background on who the Dragonborn is, and what your role is in all of this. And so there's a lot of dialogue here, and you can read through it, you can play through it, but basically it's just what I said. They're the Greybeards, and they've been looking for a Dragonborn that can help with what's going on, and so it's a main part of who you are, and we'll be finding out exactly soon. We'll be finding out what it is how we can use this to our advantage through the rest of the game here. I have to admit that I find these Greybeards kind of a little bit creepy. I think that the Jarl of Whiterun mentioned something about how that he doesn't think they really care about what's going on in the rest of Skyrim. And they're a little weird here. They live in this high place away from all humankind. They live in this really dark, creepy looking building. Here it looks like the top of the world. So I'm curious. They've been studying, they say, and who have they been teaching? Who's been up here? Apparently it's been hundreds of years since a Dragonborn, and that's in quotation marks, has been born. So I don't know, I just found it kind of a weird introduction to these guys. And in this part here, they're showing you how to get and use a shout, and I do apologize that I didn't get myself placed properly for this, and I got poor Mercurio standing right in the middle of the floor there, where I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing, and it confused me for a minute as I was trying to figure out what he's telling me to do. So he basically tells you how to use the word balance, and he places it on the floor in front of me. And it took me a minute to figure out what he had done. Again, it's been a long time since I've played this, and I really wasn't sure. So then I realized, okay, I've got to stand on the word that he places on the floor, and I learn a word of power. And they're all bragging on me. You're doing really great. You truly have a gift. But then he shows you how to unlock a word. So you can find a word, and you have to unlock a word. And for the purpose of our training session, he's going to let us basically do the same thing as absorbing a dragon soul, that we need to unlock a word. So he's going to, in this case, give us that unlock, and that's what you can see that it looks like when you're absorbing a dragon. That looks like what's happening here. He's giving you his knowledge of that word. So now he wants us to master it, and that's what we're going to do here in just a second. So he wants me to use my shout, and I sped it up here so you didn't have to suffer through me trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. You're supposed to, they make something up here and you're supposed to use your shout on it. And I had Mercurio in the way and I was doing it backwards, so I'm speeding through to get to the place where I actually did it like you're supposed to do it. And from here on you can see that we were able to demonstrate our shout 3 times, which is what they were trying to get us to do. They would make something appear and then you would use your shout on it and then it would push back whatever it was. And then your unrelenting force has been officially trained and you've tried it 3 times, and that will move you on to the next segment where they're going to show you another shout. So I never really used the shouts a whole lot in the beginning. Later on I find some shouts that I find to be really useful, but here in the beginning I really don't remember using the unrelenting force. I guess it could be useful sometimes, but it has a time limit, has a time cool off period, so it was just something I haven't done very much, and that's okay. I know it's a big part of the game, and eventually I find some shouts that I find to be really super useful. So I guess I didn't hold the button down long enough and it didn't use the shout properly. I'm not sure exactly what happened. So I had to wait for him to make that ghost appear and shoot him again, and at this point we are done with this demonstration. And I show great promise, Dragonborn. So now it's time to go out to the courtyard. And we're going to learn another word of power, which becomes important early on as far as one that can be useful. So we're going to follow him out, and I try not to run past people. I try to be polite and let them go ahead of me, and not run all of the time. And again, this is an immersion thing, just trying to make it as realistic as possible. When I get immersed to something, then the rest of my life and world disappears, and I'm actually there. I think that's why I feel cold when I play this game, because it's cold. It looks cold and makes me feel cold. So we're going to learn a completely new shout, he says, and we get a demonstration of it before he does. It's called the Whirlwind, and he's going to let us learn it to learn the actual shout itself. And again, I forgot to look down at the ground. There it is. Stand on it and you learn the word. Learn a word of power. Whirlwind Sprint. And you have to step close to him, and again he's going to give you the knowledge of it, just like a dragon soul would let you open up another word of power. You're going to learn words of power from the word walls, and then you have to use dragon souls to open them up, and you get to pick which ones you open up. I end up learning many more than I use my dragon souls for. So anyway, I want to make sure that I had it loaded properly, so that I'm not you don't want unrelenting force, you want the whirlwind, and they're going to demonstrate how this can be useful. So what's going to happen is the gate opens and you sprint forward extremely fast. And so he tells you to stand next to him, and he's going to open the gate and you whirlwind through it. And I remember the first time I did this, it took me a number of tries. I think I just kept hitting it wrong at the wrong time. But it's really simple, as you can see. They open the gate and you whirlwind sprint through it. And then he's going to go into an explanation, answering a few more questions. But basically, you are done with the Greybeards at this time. He's going to tell you some more information, more background. You can ask about their little group here, and there's not much more that you can do at this point. He's going to give you a quest from here, which we're going to pick up sooner rather than later, which will end what's called Act 1 of the main quest. But this was a part of it so that you can learn the shouts. That's why I followed it to this point. After this, we're going to break off and do some other things. We're going to go to the Mages Guild and join the guild. We're going to pick up a bunch of quests in the various towns and start making a name for ourselves. This part was important to get to and through, and we will go ahead and follow the quest that he gives us, which is to find a staff and get us to that point, and then after that we'll break off. But for this part of this particular section that we're following with our slow playthrough, I wanted to make sure that we got through this part. I know it's a little slow here. When you play, you'll be able to read through this a little bit slower, but we do want to learn to understand that we can learn these words of power, and you saw that when we went through Bleak Falls Burrow that we did see a word of power on a wall, and we got that. And then we also absorbed dragon souls. As we've killed a dragon, we saw one killed, and then we killed one ourselves, and then we absorbed the soul from that dragon by getting close to it after it's dead. So that's how that process works, and this was a demonstration of that as well. In case you hadn't done that yet, it explains what it's about and how it works, and that since I am dragonborn, that I can do what he's explaining here, that you can learn these words of power, you absorb dragon souls. He gives some background of where it came from, and helps us along with this part of the game and gets us to a more better I'm trying to say, we're better equipped to move on to the next portions and the other things that we're going to do. So you kind of read along here, and we'll pick it up as soon as he's done explaining the things he needs to explain. At this point, I was checking to see where that quest would take us, and I'm just not ready to move to that part of the map. I tend to kind of group together my quests as much as possible so that I'm working a certain part of the map and I'm not ready to go there. So that's why I unchecked that quest. We're going to move on to other things here, and so I just unchecked it so that I didn't get confused and headed that way. But we are going to go ahead and leave High Hrothgar, and for role-playing purposes, I felt it necessary or important to walk down those reported 7,000 steps. And for a couple of reasons. I think that, this is kind of a mystical and honorable thing to go up here and see these Greybeards and learn of my, quote, destiny. Apparently the fact that I'm in the world right now and the dragons are coming into the world right now was not a coincidence, he said. So I think it was important that I go ahead and make this trek back down, step by step going down. So it's a symbolic thing. And on a realistic thing, it is so easy if you're on a horse to fall off the side of this mountain. I know because I've done it numerous times. I prefer to leave my horse at the bottom, like I said, both symbolically and realistically. If I come across wolves or whatever, again, I didn't want them to knock us off and it would be really easy. So it felt kind of right to walk back down to the bottom to pick up my horse again. And you can see again, oh, it's so cold. I mean, I'm sitting in my office in the Midwest, a 90-degree day, and again, I'm chilled again because it just looks and feels cold. And I think that is a compliment to the immersion of the game, meaning I feel cold. And that plays into the survival mode again, and I'm gonna keep talking about that until I try it myself and make up my mind either way. I think it would have been really a pain in the neck to be losing all your health and stamina, and I don't remember what all else, just because you're walking in this cold. And you should be able to have a way to get warmed up other than lighting a fire or going inside somewhere. So if you're walking down this long 7,000 steps, you're going to be freezing to death, and do no fault of your own. So anyway, I'll keep harping about that until I make up my mind one way or the other, and then I'll stop harping about it. I know it's annoying. I'm sorry. So we are just going to make our way back down, and then we'll decide what to do at that point. I did want to add here real quickly that it might have made sense to have Mercurio wait at the bottom, because I didn't really need him other than that troll. He was kind of in the way of the training and whatever. I could have had him wait outside the High Hrothgar building, but I do know that if you have your followers wait too long, they give up and go home. So I haven't ever really utilized that ability to have them wait. So this might have been a good place to test it out, but I just never have, because I'm so afraid of losing them and then going through the experience of trying to find them again, like I did, as I mentioned in a previous video, that you lose them, and then finding them again is a real pain in the neck, especially if you're trying to pick up a different follower, because you still have one. It tells you still have one, even though you can't find them. So that's why I didn't have him wait. I suppose I could have had him waited right outside the building, because I knew it wouldn't take very long, but honestly, I didn't know how long it would take with in-game time, and I didn't want to lose him. So that's why he hung out with us, and he's following along behind. When I told Mercurio to purchase his horse, I told him to pick whatever one he wanted. And we happened to be standing in the Riften's, at Riften stables, so he picked the same horse, and I wish I had thought that through a little bit, because they are identical. That's where you get the gray horses. On my horse, because I've got this these backpacks and stuff, and he has a black my horse has a black saddle, so that makes it different enough so I can tell the difference, although I have occasionally almost accidentally tried to ride his horse. But if I had thought that through, I would have waited until we were somewhere else, or fast traveled, bad word, fast traveled somewhere else, so that he could have picked a different looking horse. So that was a mistake on my part, but that's okay. As I've hinted previously, when we get to a certain point, we are going to change followers. But I really wanted to have a follower with me here in the beginning, just because it helps me a lot with killing things that I might struggle with otherwise. And so that's why I have him with me. At this point, I've decided that we are going to head up to the I'm sorry, I'm stumbling along. I apologize for stumbling along. We're going to head to the Mage College. It's time. I think it's time for us to join the Mage College, and that's why I keep checking where I'm heading to make sure I'm going the right way. And what I didn't notice until much later on is that one person told us, also joining the war. At some point, we're going to join the war, and on the Stormcloak side. And if you look in your miscellaneous quests, it tells you that you can, go join the Imperial or go join the Stormcloaks, and it tells you which one, and it gives you both of those quests in your pack. So right here, I'm kind of struggling to figure out how to get down to where I need to be to get to the Mages College. Now here is a really interesting little sequence here. I see a dead Imperial soldier, and I saw a saber-toothed tiger. And I grabbed the eye on that because I'm going to use that for my house. But there's a prisoner trying to get away, and there's an Imperial soldier standing on the hill. So I come up close to him, and it says talk to him. I could, yes, no. I said, no, not free him. And all of a sudden, I get attacked by the Imperial soldiers. And I'm still not sure why. And then he dies. So everybody's dead. And I have a bounty, it said. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what caused all of that. I don't know if it was me just talking to him that caused them to attack me. I'm not sure what caused all of that. Maybe someone can tell me what caused all of that. So, irregardless, I went ahead and looted the bodies that I could reach, just because we need the stuff, and I had the room in my backpack. So here I accidentally shouted. I didn't mean to. What I was trying to do was call my horse. So I had to figure out, okay, what do I do? How do I get that back? I don't want to shout. I want to call my horse next time I hit that key, which I think is the Z key on a PC. And so I got the horse call favorited again, or set on that key again. And so again, I stumble along sometimes with settings and keys and things like that. So occasionally if I do one that's taking up a whole lot of time, I will go back and try to speed it up or even delete the video so that you're not having to watch me stumble along with things that would be second nature to most people. So again, I just stumble along, and part of it, I have some short-term memory loss, which is it's common to seniors with everyone apparently except for my mother, who's 20 years older than me, and she has a sharp as a tack mind and hasn't forgotten anything, and she's amused by the fact that I don't and seem to be more like my dad. I have a lot of short-term memory loss, which my doctor assures me is normal, but it's very, very frustrating, especially in playing a game where I should have remembered that. It wasn't that long ago that I played through this part, and I should have remembered those things as basic as setting your shouts and horse calls and things like that. And eventually I think I get around to favoring them so that I can pick the right things. So I just ask you to forgive me for those things, and I'll try to speed the video along if that happens. And I do something that's just incredibly dumb and and feel dumb about it. So again, I'm heading towards the Mages Guild, and I don't have a marker on that because it isn't a quest item. It's just something that I'm going to do. I think somewhere along the way someone does suggest you might go to the Mages College, and so I don't have it as a quest, and I get turned around and come down to the water and go, oh my gosh. So this is one of those times where I probably should speed through while I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm looking for a path to get me back on path. I know I'm supposed to be heading north, so we get back up here and get back on a path, hopefully to get us to the Mages Guild, and get back to what I'm trying to achieve. Once I hit that sign, I realized I was headed the wrong way for Windhelm, which is below where I need to go to get to the Mages College. So it's like, turn around, go back. And I'm sorry, I guess I should have sped through some of that. I'll be sure and put some markers in my posting on the YouTube channel so that you can skip past getting lost and going the wrong way and turning around, backtracking. So here I am checking the sign again to make sure that I'm heading the right way. And it's places I haven't been before, so there's nothing marked on my map that I can refer to. Although again, I don't fast travel unless I'm hopelessly lost, but it seems like here lately I'm hopelessly lost a lot, so hopefully I won't have to start fast traveling more than I used to, which was pretty much none at all. I like romping through the countryside and exploring new places and visiting things and feeling like I'm in the game. I'm not recalling. That I know when I played Ultima Online, before there were recall runes, you had to run or walk everywhere, and it really helped with making me feel immersed. Then they created runes, and then they had rune libraries where you never had to walk ever anywhere at all, and it really, to me, took away from the game a lot. And then they did Shroud of the Avatar, which was Richard Garriott's attempt at doing another game similar, and he really didn't want to have any kind of recalling in the game for the same reason that I'm avoiding it right now, is for immersion purposes. But eventually people demanded it so much, and I get it. If you've only got 2 or 3 hours at the most per day that you can play, you're not going to want to spend it doing what I'm doing right here and spend 25 minutes, real life minutes, getting to a location. You want to get there and then do whatever you got to do. So I totally get it. And I've watched a lot of streams for Skyrim, and it's all, fast traveling no matter what. And it does let you see more gameplay. And I do get it, but for my purposes, I have time. I can slow down and enjoy the the countryside and the exploration and learning, and it's cool. So again, our horses are standing right there, and I double checked it. This one's mine. Mine's got the black saddle and a pack on the back, and so that's how I kind of see the difference. So I can see that we're getting closer here. And I'm headed in the right direction. I keep checking because I got lost there for a while because I wasn't on a road, and I just I found this little path, and sometimes those paths are great. It is a shortcut to get where you want to go, but sometimes it can lead you off to something that you don't want to go to. So it's easy to get lost if you're not fast traveling and you're wandering the roads. And so talk about realism. I guess that's true in real life, isn't it? Where you just go down a road and you think it's the right way, and you end up having to turn around and backtrack because you get lost. That's something that my dad used to do all the time. So anyway, I think that we're headed in the right path. And of course, we're going north. So of course, it's getting colder and colder and colder. And now it's snowing a little bit. I guess some people that never lived in snow, that would be perfectly okay with them. I lived most of my life where it snowed, and there's nothing to me. I like the first snow of the year. That's kind of beautiful and magical. And then I'm totally over it and can't wait for it to stop. So we go ahead and make a detour here and stop. And I want to check out Windhelm real quick. I want to sell some stuff that I've got to sell, and maybe even pick up a couple of quests just in the area that so as we pass other things, and eventually I'll go back and pick up a whole ton of quests in the different towns, and then we'll be doing them in, completing them in groups. So those guys are headed off to Solitude. Like, okay, see ya. So a lot of conversations that I did not pick up, and we may pick it up later. We're almost to level 4, and that's great. So again, I'm looking for that magic level 10, and we'll get there. So I stop here to let them have a conversation a little bit, but we'll definitely come back to this later. And I know that there's a place down here where I can sell a lot of stuff. There's like a general merchant, there's a blacksmith merchant, and there is also a magic shop that sells potions and things. And I think I can get rid of a lot of the stuff that I have that I don't want or need to carry around. And so that's what we're going to do here. We picked up a lot of armor from those dead soldiers, as well as other things that we've picked up. And so we're going to just unload as much as we possibly can and get our gold up. Before this, I didn't even have 1,500. So we need a lot more than that, and we're going to get a lot more than that pretty quickly. We really haven't done much as far as fighting, and you know, we've kind of lucked out at a couple places, but we're gonna be able to get our gold up here and get some better armor here real soon. Picked up those pelts and sell those for a little good bit, and then we're gonna run over and see, and then I want to double check in here and say, okay, what else do I have that I can sell? And that helps me determine who I want to talk to next. And there's this woman over here who buys a lot of stuff, armor and weapons, of course, but other things as well. So we're going to look here and see, and so we can get rid of like things that we picked up, ale and clothes, and you know, things that these ingredients, things that I don't have any intention of keeping. So she's a good person. I go to usually the blacksmith first. I was curious about the amulet of Stendar. I don't remember finding that, or it's like, oh, and then a cultist comes up and wants to know who you are, and apparently they don't like the Dragonborn. Apparently. Which ends up being to our advantage because they attack us. And I wish that we could have got this fire elemental, but I don't think they drop anything. So we're getting some help here from the guards, which is a good thing because I wasn't paying close attention. But it gives us some more stuff that we can sell too. So I just like, okay, take it all. Why not? I was just looking to see, and where's the other? There was two of them, right? Yeah, there was the second one. So we'll grab all the stuff off of here, and we got a new spell tomb, so that's good. Free spells are always good. And so thankfully we got some help from the others, and so we can go back over here when she comes back. I don't know where she hid during all of that, but she comes back, and that way we're able to sell the stuff and get some more gold in our pocket, which is good. At this point we're at 18, so go down here and sell this stuff to her, all this cultist stuff, which it isn't a ton, but it's going to get us up over where we want to be to have some more gold in our pockets. And our speechcraft increased. That's good. And I think we're almost to level 4 if we aren't already. We'll find out here. Yes, we will be seeing you again soon. And also, I wanted to be careful there, because sometimes I make a mistake. I was trying to heal, but I make a mistake and do something wrong and end up, you know, getting a fine or being attacked. It's like, okay, because someone was in my way. We're going to pop in this, the white vial. And so there's a couple reasons why I wanted to stop in here. I wanted to let them have this conversation. Because it plays into a quest that we're going to pick up. I also wanted to check and see if they had any fire salts. So we're looking for fire salts. And here in the beginning, because we're not coming across any dungeons where we can find them or anything else, it's slow going. And I think we need 10 pieces of fire salts. So that's why I wanted to let them have their conversation. And then we're going to ask them about it, and that gives us the opportunity to do that quest, because that becomes I think it becomes a pretty useful item. So we ask where it is, and he said sure, and he's happy that we're willing to help. Forsaken cave to the west. Need the skills of a master alchemist to reach his resting place. Okay, we'll figure it out. Oh, he gives us a mixture. Here you go. So he gives us stuff we need to be able to do that quest, and we'll look at that a little bit later. And we ask a little bit about that white vial, what it is, and just to get some background information on that particular quest. And I don't remember, I remember doing the quest a couple of times, but I don't remember the white vial itself. It seems like to me that he puts stuff in it and it replaces stuff. I don't know, I can't remember. We'll find out because we'll do the quest. Create from nothingness. We'll do that. He spent his entire life searching for it. So he's going to send me off to find it, but he's been looking for it for his whole life. Okay, we'll help him out. Okay, now we're going to check him for any fire salts that's by, and anything that we can sell to him as well. And he has 2. It's like, bingo, awesome. That gives us our first 2 that we need for Balamund. And I don't have anything I want to sell him at this point. I guess I had already sold it off to the other lady, the general lady. So, okay, off we go. It's time to make our way to up to the Mages Guild. And we're just going to leave everything here else alone. We will come back to this area very soon. But then I changed my mind. I change my mind often. And they're talking about the return of the Dragonborn. Yeah, that's me. I was really actually looking for another court mage, which I think there is one here somewhere, but I didn't know. I wasn't sure. So instead, I think I decided to come in here and have a talk with the Jarl. And I had forgotten to read the cultist orders. And we'll be doing that, but not, not right now. At this point, I decided to double check my quests. Since I was already here, I wanted to join the Stormcloak Rebellion. So I decided to go ahead, double check myself, and go have a chat with the powers that be and tell them that I'm ready. I think I've mentioned before that I've always joined the Stormcloaks. Like I said, I've only started this over maybe 6 times, something like that, in 11 years, and I always join the Stormcloak side. And I think part of it is because what I'm hearing, and maybe it's because this is the side that I join, it's an oppression. It's the Imperials trying to force their laws and rules on people that don't agree with them. And it doesn't hurt a bit that they tried to chop my head off in the beginning, and we're still a little bit unclear on why that happened. But it has always felt like the right side to be on. Maybe someday I'll force myself to play on the opposite side. I know many people that have, but not me. I always listen to these conversations, and it's, why do you fight? It's not for me, then what? And I think that they give he gives a really good reason on why they're fighting. And I guess in any war, there's always two sides. I guess in any war, it can be unclear on who is right and who is wrong. Each side believes they are right and wrong. So we won't get into politics and crap like that. That's no fun in a gameplay situation. I'm just saying that it relates to this. I'm sure there's another side. I don't know what it is. Right now, in present time, I definitely feel like I should be on the side of the Stormcloaks. And, your words give voice to what we all feel, and that's why you will be High King. So, that's how I felt, and that's how I felt standing there going, yeah, that's right. He should be the High King. So, for the sake of Skyrim, that's what I've always chosen to do. And this is where this happens. It's where it starts. It's where you pick a side. And so I'm telling him that that's what I'm going to do. And what's funny, he says, I don't know you. And I suppose he was looking at his own mortality. He was tied up and gagged, and he was ready for the chopping block too. So I don't blame him or take any offense that he didn't remember that I was with him. But Ray, once I mentioned Rayloff, he's like, oh, he's alive. Well, that's good. And he hasn't been back here yet. And I know that Rayloff at some points comes back here. At least I think he does. So he's like, I don't know who you are, but cool. I'm glad that you've joined us. And your criminal past. It's like, I didn't do anything. Jeez Louise. I was a heroine in Oblivion, and then I show up here and my criminal past. And it's like, what? So anyway, we go back and have a brief conversation with Galmar, who isn't so sure about us, doesn't necessarily trust us completely. So because of that, he's going to send us off on a little quest, to prove that we are loyal. And the quest that he sends us off on, I find it to be quite amusing, because I don't know how that proves loyalty. But hey, you know what? He's the general or whatever, and if he wants to send us off on this strange little quest, then okay, we'll do what we need to do. When you're in war, you do what your leaders tell you to do. And in this case, I'm like, I can handle anything that you want me to do. And so he's going to send us to Serpent Stone Island. And on this island, he wants us to kill an ice wraith. And it's where they've tested their metal for ages. Okay, I still find it to be interesting. Anyway, he sends us off, and that's where we have to attack the ice wraith that is there, and bring back proof that we did. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that quest, and I'm adding that up as far as gathering quests in a specific area, because I do know where this one is. And so we're going to go ahead and kill that ice wraith. And okay, so I'm going to do it. And he goes, here, and take this with you. And he gives us something that's supposed to be help. That's all the help you're getting from me. Try not to die. Okay, I can do that. So I'm checking my quest log and kind of getting myself a little bit organized. I'm not ready to do the Dragonborn part yet. It's just, I think it's, I don't know that I guess I started that at one point in one of my plays, but I just, yeah, I'm not sure that I've played that one very far, and I think I'm not going to for a while. It seems to me that I read something about it that you should wait until you're an X level, I don't know, 10 or 15, I don't know. But I'm just not ready for that. It was an add-on. It was downloaded content. So I'm going to wait for that for a while. And we're going to get back to continuing to do certain things that I'm wanting to do at this point. So I've marked the quest to kill the ice wraith, to give us the direction that we want to go in. It gives me a marker on my map and at the top there. So we're going to head off and go to kill an ice wraith. And I tend to, depending upon where I'm going and if I've been there before, I oftentimes just take the most direct route. So like follow my pointer. But the problem that I have with that sometimes is that it's sending me up over a impassable mountainside. Sometimes you can ride a horse up over a mountain and just keep climbing and it takes you over the top. Sometimes it doesn't. So that's kind of a rough way to do it, but sometimes it's the fastest way to do it. And again, this is my play style of not fast traveling anywhere. So that's kind of what I did when the first time that I went up to where the Mages Guild was. I had a pointer, and so I used my pointer to get me there. And I found that coming around the side of the stables here and then heading down in the water and going across the water gets you in the correct direction a little bit faster. Maybe there's a faster way, maybe there's an easier way, but it's just how I've always done it. So once I get past this little dock area, I just kind of swim across in the freezing cold water with my very thin clothing on and just head on up, because you can see my pointer is kind of showing like head over here. So and I discovered a couple places along the way. Again, it doesn't matter so much since we don't fast travel, but they're on my map. Maybe someday it'll show how many places I've discovered, and I'll find out that I have a whole lot in the scheme of things, but I don't care. Swim across, and I'm heading pretty much directly in the direction that my pointer is telling me to go in the cold again. And then, of course, there's wolves. Wolves attacking us. It's just a non-stop thing that there's wolves everywhere. So we're going to take care of them real quick. I still have the flame spell only as far as a fire destruction. And of course I got my buddy Mercurio there who's cleaning everything up. And so we'll get rid of those, and then we're going to continue our direction to head on up to where we're supposed to be for the ice wraith that we are supposed to kill. And sometimes I could choose let's ride, and we can do the whole thing with the rearing horses, but sometimes I do just let's ride, just so I can get on with it. Mercurio will catch up with me. So I'm more or less heading in the direction of the pointer. I kind of take a look and say, okay, I want to make sure I don't go off a cliff. That would not be conducive to what we're trying to do. Occasionally you jump off a little place like that and it doesn't hurt you. Sometimes if it's a little steeper, it does. So you kind of have to be careful. So I was looking around here and saying, okay, there's a path. I can see my pointer showing me that I can go straight ahead, and that's Winterhold off to the left. And eventually, you know, we are going to join the Mages Guild. And we'll get to that too. But right now, I want to get that. I want to kill that ice wraith and get that off of our task list. And it was just kind of like, okay, what's that there? A couple things. Should come back to it. Should I take the gold offerings that are sitting there? Is that stealing? We'll have to check that when we come back. If we come back this way, which we probably will. And, of course, more wolves. Die, wolf. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I hate it when your horses run off, because then you gotta either find them or use your horn. In this case, he didn't get too awful far. Sometimes if you're in the woods or the forest, they're hard to find looking around. So sometimes I just say, okay, I want to get on the path that I'm going, and then use my horn and call the horse. So we're headed in the approximate direction. I know that the ice wraith is across water. So we're gonna try to get down to the water there where we can swim across, and kind of be careful of those. I don't know, those, what are they called? Those things with the tusks that they have. I'll have to look next time. Those things are not too bad if you leave them alone. And by the way, we're walking by here and noticed that there was a dragon mound, and I found a new area. So we'll kind of remember this for later. Those things, I forget what they're called. They've got tusks on them. They don't bother you as long as you stay far enough away. But if you get close to them, they will attack you. And they're kind of tough in the beginning especially. So I kind of want to avoid them if I can at all. What we can't avoid is these daggone wolves. Don't run away, my horse, which I can't name. I always hated that you can't name your horses. It's called Rhiannon's horse. Or you can pick default names and stuff like that. There may be a way to change it yourself. I know in Oblivion I found a way, and I've always named my horses when I could Wildfire. And I'm suspecting that my followers that I have will be at or close to my age, and you will know exactly where the name Wildfire comes from. And we come down this little way, and it's like, okay, there's a horse here and like a little camp. So don't know what that is. Decided not to explore it. Instead, we're gonna do a quick save so that in case something happens. But we're gonna run across the straight. We're gonna headed straight in the direction of our pointer, telling us where to go to kill this ice wraith. And there's been occasions when I've played this quest that Mercurial doesn't follow me, or if he does, he gets lost along the way. So a couple times I'll double picking up stuff we don't need. Nernroot, yes. So that he's with us though. I saw him right there, so I kind of keep my eye out for him just so we don't get him lost until we don't want him anymore. So stay with us, buddy. Go grab your horse or whatever you got to do. And interesting that there's a little stack of stones there. That usually indicates there's something there. But we're going to pretty much ignore everything until we get to the little island that we need to go to get after this ice wraith. I think the water is really pretty here. Oh, look at that wolf attacking that thing over there. We'll just let them fight it out. I like it when other creatures kill other creatures. By the way, my horse is still picking up, he's still picking up ingredients. So this is when I click on, I need to make some decisions. And there's a lot of options here, and this is all with Convenient Horses mod. I basically tell him I don't need any ingredients and stop picking them up. So, you know, if you're an alchemist or something, it's really convenient to have your horse doing that for you. But I keep picking up things that I don't want, don't need, don't want to sell, so I just tell him to knock it off. I'll pick up what I want myself. So I could kind of tell by our map that we got to go around that rock formation right there, and wherever we're going is around the other side. So we're just going to take a little swim here with our horse wagging his tail, which is kind of funny watching him wag the tail in the water, and kind of swim across here and get to the whatever it is, the hill, the little mountain, whatever, that we need to get to the ice wraith that we need to take out. So it's right around this corner right here, and I can see that there's something up on the top of that rock, and that's got to be it. If I recall correctly, you need to enter from the right hand side, so that's why I turned a little bit northeast there so that I can catch a path to get up to the top. And I don't even know if Macario is with me at this point. I kind of remember what's there. I kind of remember that I can probably take care of it myself. Let's hope that I can, and then I don't end up dead on the top of this freezing cold iceberg, for lack of a better word. So you kind of swing around here and you'll see a path going up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, there's a nice wraith and he's right there. So let's see if we can take care of him without ending up dead. And this they move a lot, so they're kind of a pain in the neck to kill because they move so much. But if you can keep after him, is he dead? I think he's dead. I think I finally got him. It says return to Galmar, so I did get him. And he's got ice wraith and ice teeth and essence, I think. And I also note I need to collect 4 more for a little quest that we're on. So we'll get to that. I thought I'd take an opportunity to heal a little bit. And I thought that there was something else up here. I don't recall. I don't know if there's another quest. I don't know. I thought I'd check it out. And oh yeah, there's some stones here. A stone, a serpent stone. And I don't know what it does, so I decided not to select on it. About time you showed up. Thanks a lot. I decided not to select it. I do have the Mage stone selected, and I kind of want to stick with that. And I almost rode Macario's horse, and thankfully I didn't do that. And I want to double check that wind color. It's kind of farther than I want to go at this point. See, I didn't realize that it wasn't my horse. I wasn't paying close enough attention. My saddle is black. I have to remember that. My saddle is black and it has backpack. So again, if I had to do it over again, I would have waited until I was at a different stable before having Macario pick his horse. So that's okay. I don't. It's okay for now. We're gonna change out followers here and have a follower that we're gonna keep, hopefully to the end of our play. So right now, what I'm trying to do is figure out where the Mage's Guild is, and I know that it's above Winterhold, and so I'm just kind of following. I know that it was kind of west, the west direction. So I just am kind of following my compass a little bit to get where I needed to go. In the meantime, I noticed that there is some kind of a ship over here that's been shipwrecked. And so I don't take too many side excursions, but this is right in the direction where we need to go. You can actually see the college is off to the right there in the upper right-hand corner. So it's kind of right on our way. And I thought, why not? Let's take a little detour and who knows what we'll come across. And I thought I remember doing this maybe one other time. Maybe not. I don't know. So I thought, let's go check this out. It's right on our way. Seems easy peasy. Hopefully Macario is nearby. So we're trying not to drown here in these little icebergs that are in our way. And then I see there's enemies there. So don't know who they are, or why they're trying to kill me, but, you know, I can probably handle. Yeah, look at them shooting at us. And there's a wolf. So, okay, we've got a wolf that's trying to take down the bad guys, and the bad guy's trying to take down me. So I just run up over here and hop off my horse and kind of take care of these bandits. Oops, I had my healing spell selected, so that's not going to do me much good. Certainly not going to kill the bandits. So there's bandits here with this shipwrecked ship. Did I see Macario off to the side? No, that's a bandit. So we're going to take care of that bandit. You can do bandits pretty easily, or bandits are easy right now because we're on easy. And I also just noticed that a level up is available. So let's take care of that in a minute. in the meantime, just get us some loot here that we can sell when we get to, I think it's Winterhold. And we need the gold. We're kind of low on gold. Oh, and there's a novice chest there. And we certainly want to kind of grab whatever's there. We got 25 lockpicks, so normally I would save right before open a chest, but it's a novice chest, and we had 25 lockpicks, and it wasn't a tough chest. And I decided to go ahead and check a few barrels just to prove to myself there was nothing in them, and there was nothing in them. So Mercurio finally shows up, so thank you for nothing. I guess she got lost in the water, I don't know. So I decided I wanted to check this out, and I don't remember doing it before, but I thought I would take a quick save there just to be on the safe side. So I don't know. There was a chest here, a waterlogged chest, and there was a journal. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up and see if it offers any information to us. I'm going to take a quick read here. Yeah, it was a message to someone. And I was kind of hoping that it would give us a little quest or something. And I really don't think that it does. So I take a moment to read through this journal that someone had left in a waterlogged chest. Live with virtue. Like, okay. There really wasn't anything there. It doesn't, it says quest items cannot be removed from, so I don't know, maybe we'll pick it up later. I didn't see it offer us a quest, but it wouldn't let me drop it. So we look into the water here and see some steps, but they're blocked. So we have to find another way up. See your feet. So we're going to go out and look around a little bit more. See if we can find another way in, and there are stairs. So apparently the bandits decided to put steps up here. So thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate your help. So we look around in here and find a healing potion and a chest. So maybe there'll be something good in there. And watch out, they had a trap. The trap's been tripped, it looks like. So we'll just kind of, there's a necklace of resist magic. So that's a pretty good necklace. So take a look here and see what we got. We're wearing the amulet of Mara, which we don't need to be wearing. So that's got pretty good resistance, and it's worth quite a bit, but we're going to wear it for now. So I don't think there was anything else here for us to check or for us to find. We can go down these stairs here and take a quick look under the water, look for any other chests or things that might help us along our way. But I didn't see anything but boxes, and I didn't see anything underneath there. There may have been something, but, and if I, who knows, we may end up coming back to this at some point, because it said I couldn't get rid of that journal. So we may end up with a quest that will be helpful. So, and I kind of just take a quick look around. At this point, I think that it's probably time to move on to our destination, which is the Mage's College. So Graham, I don't see his horse. Who knows where his horse was, but he's able to use the horn to call it wherever it was. So that, again, that's the convenient horses mod, which will help us many, many times, and certainly makes this a lot easier to play. I actually found out about this mod watching Grandma Shirley videos. I saw that her followers had horses that they were riding, and that's when I looked into it, found out about it. I'm not a mod person at all. I just don't like mods. I think that too often they could destroy a game or make it just not what it was supposed to be, and that's fine. That's what they're for. People enjoy modding their games and turning them into something completely different, and that's fine. That's why we have the ability to create mods and install them. For me, for my purposes, I like to enjoy the game as much as possible the way it was designed. So again, I have one mod installed. It's Convenient Horses, and it certainly makes it to where I'll use horses, because prior to this, I don't use horses at all. I didn't use them for years, and we get to a point up here, I'll explain exactly why. I decided that it was time to go ahead and level up, and I try to keep my Magicka and my health close to the same, so I chose Magicka. And I was looking at the different ones. I have trouble with perks deciding what to choose sometimes. I'm fine with the destruction at this point, and you know, it says novice level restoration spells. Sometimes I think, well, how long am I going to be using novice restoration spells? So that's why I get indecisive. It's like, what should I have chosen? I mean, do you have to pick that before you pick the next one up? It's like, so I give up and sometimes end up with way too many perks. But eventually, I will make sure that I choose something. And in your comments, you're more than welcome to give me suggestions on what I should be choosing. So we're still heading on up. I do know that off to the right there, I think, isn't that the one of the what am I trying to say? One of the Daedra things, and I think it was the one with the unlimited soul gem. I'm pretty sure, but I didn't want to get involved with it yet. I wanted to stay on focus, stay on target. I wanted to get to the Mages Guild and get started on doing quests for the Mages Guild. You get some really good benefits, armor, lots of things that it offers to you. So I like to do that really early on. As you could tell, I'm not very far in the main quest at all. So I go ahead and come on up to Winterhold. And I'm thinking, okay, do I have enough stuff to sell? There isn't a whole lot of options in the town for merchants to sell stuff to, but it's enough that when I come here, I do stop and try to get rid of as much stuff as I can at this little shop here. And that merchant buys, you know, pretty much anything that you would want to sell. And but I don't think she has a whole lot of gold on her. Oh yeah, I double check Mercurio to see, you know, what has he got on him. Do I have anything better to offer? I don't want to give him too much because he's gonna go away before too long. But you know what? You know, I try to look at what is he using. What can I give him to help him, you know, stay alive or do more damage? But again, I don't want to give him too much. I think I give him a little bit better sword, and I kind of double check his armor, and you know, I give him a helmet, hopefully help him not crack his head open. But you know, that's pretty much it. I don't want to give him too much stuff that I would rather be selling. That's why I double checked him before I talked to Berna and see what she's got. And so she's got 758 gold for me to work with. And so I just kind of take a look and see what we can get rid of here to lighten our load and to put some more gold in our pockets. And so I'm kind of looking over, you know, what all do I have. Ice wraith bone. I kind of want to hang on to that because I don't remember what we have to. I think we have to. We use part of that for a quest, but I don't want to get rid of anything, and I'm not 100% sure. So when I'm not 100% sure, we can hang on to it as long as we're not completely overloaded, and I don't think we were at this point. So our gold is getting up there. I wanted to double check and see if she had any fire salts, and she didn't, because we are still looking for that. I just take a quick look, and I don't want to get any. I don't want to get into fishing yet, just because we're not eating yet. But I'll try that at some point. That's part of the anniversary edition free stuff that you get that gets added to the special edition. So we've got rid of a few things there, and now it's time for us to head on up to the Mages Guild. Oh, and there's a wolf in town, and he's just standing around. Nobody's doing anything about it. Jeez Louise, where'd the guard go? Anyway, we took care of it, and they didn't even thank us. So we're just going to head on up to the Mages Guild, and as we go on up, we get stopped. Faralda. She says you can't go this way. And the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry. And then we're going to ask her a couple of questions.
Oh, forgive me. Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand.
So we play dumb. What is this place? We don't know what this is. And then she tells us, of course, this is the Mages Guild, and it had a guard initially.
I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom.
And then she explains. She's basically finding out if those who seek wisdom at the Mages College. She kind of filters through people or not, or stops them. And so we ask politely.
But what is it you expect to find?
And she wants to know, why do you want to enter the college? And see, this part, depending upon how you answer, she will ask you to perform a spell. And if you don't have the spell she wants you to perform, she gives you one. I tell her that I want to use the power of ice and fire to destroy anyone who opposes me.
The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those
She's saying I gotta show some skill.
With magic. A small test, if you will.
I always try to persuade. I probably shouldn't do that. It may hurt them, but sometimes persuasion works, and I think that increases your skill. Mage light spell, she says. And so she wants me to do a spell that I not normally use, and when I tell her I don't have it, she goes, okay, cool, I'll sell it to you. 30 gold, I don't know what's good for a low-level spell like that, but I didn't have the spell, so I thought it was worth the 30 gold, because she wants us to cast it to get past her. So I thought, okay, and this opened the quest First Lessons. And of course I can't remember where it's at. I have to search around. There it is. She told me and I forgot already. So we got our Mage Light spell in one of our hands. And I don't know about you, but for some reason, when I click my right mouse button, the left hand actually is the one that shoots. So it's opposite for me. If anyone knows why that is, please feel free to tell me. But my mouse keys, and I believe I can go in and change that, but it's always been that way for me. So I don't know why I have to click the left mouse button to cast the spell that's in the right hand, or the staff or whatever is in my hand. So I'm curious why that is. I never recall ever changing it. So let me know if you know. We're getting to a point here that I think it's a good time to stop. When we come back, we will be doing starting the Mage Guild quests. So thank you for joining me this far. I do appreciate it. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the subscriptions and the comments. Keep it up, and we'll see how far we get.